But
Now, as amazing as this trick is, it shouldn't be on the list.
why not?
Because, I'll tell you why.
Eric Tate here alongside my buddy Nick Lacapo, and we're back for another Penguin Magic Top 10 list. Today we are counting down the top 10 visual card tricks for Instagram as determined by you.
Yeah, I didn't have to come up with it this time.
It's fantastic.
I know, it's making my job easier.
So we had our good buddy Josh Birch, who runs all the social media here. He put out a poll on Facebook and Instagram. We tallied all of the results up, and now we are going to share your list with you. There's some really cool stuff on this list today.
They did a good job.
I think so.
I had my doubts.
Yeah.
But they came through.
There's a couple of things that I was like concerned about. A few things where I was like, oh, they threw this because they know Nick and I like these tricks.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Well, let's start off with number 10, Nick.
Yeah, number 10. Number 10 on this list is a good one. Actually, could have been higher.
Yeah?
It's really good.
Well, what is it?
It is the Closeup Illusion by Larry Jennings.
Ooh, that's a fun trick.
Yeah, no, this is a great trick. If you're not familiar with it, you guys can see it right now. Basically, you have 3 cards. One of them's indifferent. It's either got a red back or it's a 2 among 2 queens or whatever you want. And the card will clearly be on the bottom of the 3 cards, and then it will magically just kind of morph up until the center of the 2, right? And you can take it out and show both sides and put it back in, and it kind of just sinks to the bottom of the 3 cards somehow.
That's madness.
Yeah, so it's great, super visual for people looking for stuff to do on their Instagram or their Facebook or their YouTube or whatever. But man, this packs a lot. This has multiple magic moments, right? And has each layer, every time that you do it kind of like disproves the first time. You know, if people are trying to track how it goes, right? So it's one of those that when you watch it, you want to watch it again, and you want to watch it again and again, which is kind of what you're looking for stuff like this, right?
What I like about it is that you can customize it with the cards that you like. You know, because I know that if I was going to do something on Instagram, maybe I wouldn't want to use like red bicycles or blue bicycles, but I would want to do it with maybe some sort of like designer deck. Like maybe I'm really into the Screams at Midnight deck, and I want to have that Screams card like rising up towards people.
Screaming to the center of the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, super visual.
Yep.
Larry Jennings, right? If you're not into, maybe you're not too much into the card history stuff, but Larry came up with a lot of amazing material, and you know, this could have been in the top 5, I think.
I agree with you. It's a fantastic trick. But let's move on. Let's keep this trick going. You know what? Why don't you hit number 9
Sure,
as well?
I can give you number 9. Number 9 is one of the things that I started using in my own work just a couple of years ago. So can be done live and looks great on camera as well, and that is Bipolar by Ram Cohen.
Well, first of all, Ram is awesome. We had him on the Penguin Magic podcast recently.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, he took some time to get on the podcast with us, which was awesome. He was giving us his top 5 tricks in under 5 minutes and his Desert Island magic books, like where he would, and he had a great magic book too. You would have liked it. But I really enjoyed working on this trick with you. I am gonna question it as to being on this trick because this is
it's a card that starts
visual.
one color. And it's like a joker on the other side, and then you toss it up in the air, and it transforms into another color and then into a face card.
I am absolutely not questioning this trick at all. I think this is a great trick. I'm questioning it on this list because this is the top 10 visual card tricks for Instagram. And the one thing that I've seen people do on Instagram more than anything else is throw it right out of frame. It goes up, it comes back down. For all I know, it's your little sister up there catching one card and dropping another.
Sure, you don't even need it, right?
It's an amazing trick. I love it. I've seen you do it in your show, and I had so much fun filming this out in the wild with you.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was great.
Yeah, and so you're seeing it on the screen here. It's really this incredible mechanical card that you just give it a toss, and it visually transforms in midair. Don't throw it off the screen when you do it, but I use it in my multiple selection routine with just it's a card transformation where I keep a card in my pocket, and your card was the 8 of diamonds, and I show a joker. Of course, that's not correct, but you give it a toss, catch it, and it transforms into the 8 of diamonds.
The fun thing about Bipolar is that if you purchase it, you get a really, really thorough download where Nick teaches you how to do it, but also I teach a transposition routine, and then we have Nick Popa, who's actually run the cameras right now. He teaches another routine with it, all super visual, easy to do stuff that you're gonna go out and use these routines.
Yeah,
it's
cool
awesome.
things on there. Cards split into 2. I teach the little confetti thing on there, which is fun.
Confetti thing is great.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the next trick on the list. Number what are we on? 8.
Number 8 is Melt by Matt Johnson. If you've been a fan of Penguin Magic for a while, you've definitely seen Melt on our website, but this is a really cool trick. Essentially, what you have is a playing card that is selected out of a deck, and you can borrow a bill. You then push that card through the bill. They actually see the card. The bill is folded in half. The card is pushed through the bill. They see the card come through the bill, and then you move it around. You actually confirm that that card is really going through that bill.
Yeah.
The card continues to pass all the way through the bill. You can then hand out the bill and the card. Everything is examinable at the end of this fantastic routine. Super visual, and it's a really great sort of solid through solid, object through object trick.
Great for Instagram. Also, something that you can perform in real life, so you learn this and you can go out and show, your friends and family or whatever.
I think what I'm really liking is that this list that the people at home came up with for us is featuring a lot of stuff that you can both do on Instagram and in real life. You're sort of getting a lot of use out of these tricks, which is really great.
I love watching Matt Johnson perform.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
this is kind of we talk a lot about the tricks on here. Matt's one of my favorite guys I've ever seen work close-up. So when you get the instructional video, when you get to see Matt out in the wild doing this stuff,
Super entertaining.
super good. But just that one visual moment is perfect for your Instagram as well.
When you watch it, there's so many times when when you're passing one object through another where, maybe the object is secretly apart and wrapping around the object, but with this, the really cool part is that card is through that bill. As you move the card down the bill, man, the bottom of it and the top of it moved perfectly in sync. There's no secret wobbling. It's, no one's going to think it's magnets or crazy wires or anything.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is a Penguin Magic classic at this point. Yeah. So Matthew, and weird rise to fame not weird rise to fame, but since we filmed that with Matt, he's
he's on AGT.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's been on Fool Us.
Yeah, you might not recognize him in that video. But
no,
yeah,
he's
him.
He's clean shaven.
Yeah, absolutely. Melt's great.
Let's move on to number 7. Number 7 is a fantastic torn and restored card trick by Brent Braun called Torched and Restored. You have a card selected from the deck. It is signed. You fold it up, tear it into 4 pieces, and then use a lighter to weld those pieces back together, and it visually restores. The best part is you can hand the card out at the end. I've done this trick in my show, both my close-up show and my parlor show, a lot. It's a lot of fun.
It's one of the first tricks I ever got
Really?
at a magic shop. Actually, the first time I ever went in a magic shop, they sold me this trick.
One of the very first magic tricks I ever purchased from Penguin Magic was the original Torched and Restored booklet that Brent has.
Yeah.
And I keep forgetting to bring it in and have him sign it. But
Now, as amazing as this trick is, it shouldn't be on the list.
why not?
Because, I'll tell you why. It's because this is a pick a card trick. This is a pick a card, sign it trick. Sign it, makes it better.
It does make it better.
And so you should be doing this trick live. Not that you shouldn't be doing it on Instagram, but there's other torn and restored card tricks that you could be doing on Instagram other than this.
All right.
Great trick. Nothing to do with the trick.
Okay, so let's say that you were going to take this out and put something else in. You get all the votes. You get all the votes.
Right.
You get to put in a torn and restored card trick. What are you going to replace this with?
I'll tell you, because Torched and Restored is built to be done out and about.
Yes.
That's the strengths of it.
It came from Brent Braun's working repertoire.
You don't really have to worry about angles or anything like that. So what it gains in, just versatility, you might as well go with something that you don't have to worry about angles and you gain more visual aspects, right?
Okay,
like Reparation by John Lovett.
Ooh, now that is a solid effect.
Right?
It's a piece by piece torn and restored. You tear a card into 4 pieces and then piece by piece you restore it. I'm going to challenge you right now though. Reformation or Torn by Daniel Garcia?
If you search YouTube, you'll find a clip of 16-year-old Nick doing Torn to the camera with a backwards hat on somewhere out there. It exists. It exists, and
you know, we're not even going to put that clip in here. You've got to go find it. You've got to just, I want all those internet sleuths right there.
It's probably unlisted.
So if you find this video of Nick, of 16-year-old Nick with a backwards baseball cap in here, first of all,
Hurley hat. It's like a Hurley cap.
I want you to smash the like button, hit subscribe, and then post the link in the comments below.
Good luck. Good luck.
right.
Yeah, but Torch Restored, fantastic trick.
I think this is some really good advice that if you are going to be doing magic for Instagram, you do have to fool only one eye. That's the camera. And if you can do something that might be a little more angle sensitive in real life, but man, you can control all those angles and do as many takes as you need to on Instagram. That's a very good piece of advice.
But learn Torch Restored too if you're going to go out and want to perform a Torn and Restored. There's no better one.
You should have a bunch of Torn and Restored in your repertoire.
Number 6, I think we're on.
This is Intersection by Hondo. I really like this trick.
I'm fooled.
Oh man, until I had not actually played with Intersection until it came up on this list.
How is this 6?
It's so good.
Yeah.
So what this is you have a playing card. You have 2 playing cards, a red card and a blue card, and you show them front and back, and then you take one card and you move it forward very slowly like a blade, and suddenly the cards intersect. They pass through one another, right? And then you can show it from a lot of angles, and then the card continues to pass through. And then Hondo's got a really great way to clean up the effects so that the cards can be switched. There's a lot going for this trick. So I know I saw a lot of people do this in virtual shows. I've seen a lot of people do this on Instagram. What is so cool about this is that you receive a fully built intersection card built by Hondo. It's a beautiful piece of craftsmanship. It's really easy. I mean, like literally, if you can put 2 cards together like this, you can do intersection. But also, he includes enough extra gimmicks so that you can make enough. Let's say that you use the Jerry's Nuggets, the Royal Purple Jerry's Nuggets, and you want that to be your intersection card. He sends you the gimmicks to be able to do that. There's a really thorough build tutorial from Hondo that'll teach how to make it, but he teaches you how to make it with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's really, really effective.
I had no idea how this worked.
Oh, I was fooled. I
didn't,
fooled.
You know, I didn't really mind. It doesn't happen all the time. So when we opened the box and looked at it, I was like, man, you're right. I mean, Hondo built all these, and when you get it, you'll be like, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's so much room for error.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a gorgeous, perfectly made thing.
Yeah.
The method's so smart.
It's so good.
So smart, and it looks so good.
Never would have thought of it in a million years.
I also particularly like the way that it does feel like a blade. Like the card looks as if it's cutting the other card, and the way that the speed at which it moves through, it's a great illusion.
There's some precision engineering and some precision gimmick building here that you see very rarely in the world of Magic.
How's it 6? This should be.
It should be like 2 or 3.
1. It's really good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to number 5.
Number 5. This one's great.
Yep.
Number 5. Almost needs no introduction. Well, I'm trying to think of a fun way. I can't even. I'm just gonna tell you what it is. How about that? Sudden Deck by David Regal.
Oh, this doesn't need an introduction because it is an introduction.
It is the introduction. That was what I was trying to get to.
Again, great for Instagram.
No, check this out. Yeah, perfect. Right, great for Instagram.
Let's talk about what it is first.
Yeah, you bring out a box. Well, you know, I think a lot of people don't even know what it is. It's just this like blank piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
So you tell them like, this is what a card box looks like before it's been printed and it's been folded. So if they believe you up to that point, okay, you give it a shake and all of a sudden it prints itself. One of the most visual changes, blank to complete red color and stuff.
It's the most visual card printing box trick that I know of.
But then it goes another step, which is crazy because you fold it up in front of them. You can close the flap at the top. You give a little finger snap, whatever you got to do. But then you open it up and you produce a full deck of cards.
This is one of the tricks that David
Regal
has been refining this. I know, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
I know, I opened my parlor show with it for years. I know John Armstrong has opened shows with it for years. I mean, this is one of those things that anytime you want to produce a deck of cards for someone, this is the way to go. But, like, for Instagram, this is awesome.
Yeah,
it's so good.
A quick clip for Instagram. When you get into Magic, sometimes you get obsessed with certain ideas, right? And, occasionally, I know that I had a little phase where it's like, well, if I'm going to bring out a deck of cards, I might as well
make it
do it magic, right? And then what ultimately happens is you learn all these crazy convoluted methods, and then you just end up doing sudden.
Every time.
Because once you learn it, you're like, oh, that's great. But that visual change is so perfect for Instagram. I can see why it's on the list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's move on to number 4, and this one's near and dear to my heart, and I feel like the fans of Penguin Magic put this on the list because they knew that I would want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's the Snap Deal by Leonard Green.
Leonard who?
Leonard, yeah, some Swedish dude. You don't need it. No, the Snap Deal by Leonard Green. This is a really great piece of sleight of hand. This is pure sleight of hand, and most people know it because this is one of the things that he used to win FISM in his routine, the laser deal. The laser deal is the routine, the Snap Deal is the move. If you can't tell the difference, you're not allowed to do it. But no, so you deal cards onto the table and they disappear. They're just gone. It's a visual illusion. It's an audible illusion. There's 2 really great places to learn it on Penguin Magic. One is Leonard Green's Penguin Live lecture. He actually sits me at the table and teaches it to me right there. And the other place to learn it is my Penguin Live lecture. The whole back half of my lecture is not just how to do the Snap Deal, but also the different areas that I've taken it. I think that
should this be on the list, Eric?
No, it shouldn't, because this is another one of those tricks that really, it should be done live. And to be totally honest with you, the best way to do it is as a switch or a steal. I think that the visual nature of it is actually the weakest way to use it.
Because you got to have some verbal context as to what is going on, right? And it's usually leading up to something, or you know.
But as a switch, as a steal, as a color change, it's much better. It's a really, really useful piece of sleight of hand that I think everybody who's serious about card magic should know. I understand why it's so high on the list. The Snap Deal, the card vanishing, is iconic in Magic.
Do you think it stands up to like repeated viewing?
Oh yeah. I definitely know it stands up to repeated viewing because I used it on Fool Us, and a lot of people comment on it on the YouTube video. But one thing that we've said a lot in this particular list is like, I don't think that this should be on there. Yeah. What are some tricks that didn't make it on here? Because we are closing into the top 3.
Sure. Yeah. We are getting pretty close to the end.
What should be on here?
You know, a trick that man, a lot of the stuff that I do think should be on here, I always do live as well, but that doesn't mean you can't do it on Instagram. I love Misprint by Luke Dancy.
Oh, what a good trick.
I think it could be on the list. It might not necessarily make the list if I was to make my own top 10 right away. I think it might be right on the fringe because presentationally, it can be a lot stronger. Yeah. But then we were also talking before about
Hovercard. Hovercard's another one that I thought should have been on the list. I understand why it's not, because this falls. It's a little like Torch and Restored in that it is a pick a card trick, and the card is signed, and the signature on a Hovercard makes it so much better.
Yeah. Well, that's Hovercard Plus.
Hovercard Plus. The original Hovercard, though, I think there's a very strong argument for doing it on Instagram because the technology limits at the time didn't allow you to do all of the really crazy visual stuff that you can do with Hovercard Plus.
Yeah, those are 2 that could easily be on the list, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's move on to number 3. I know this one knocks your socks off. This one, right here, Matrix Revolution by Michael Shatlin. This is cool. Yes. This is really cool. There's so much magic packed into this card. We're making the holes appear on the 4 corners of the card, and then manually moving them with your fingers, and then moving them completely open with no cover, and then making them go back to the corners. I mean, there is so much magic that happens on this one crazy card. The gimmick is amazing. Yeah. And, Michael, I don't know if you're watching this, but you shouldn't be designing magic. You should be designing space shuttles. Yes. This thing is crazy. Building bridges, right? Yeah. Like, what is going on? Easy to do. It looks like it shouldn't be easy to do, right? But I mean, the amount of visual moments and the amount of work that you have to do. This is a home run. Another one that I saw in a lot of virtual shows, and the other thing that this really has going for it, which also, by the way, Intersection by Hondo also has going for it. These are both durable. Yeah. I'm on it. Like when you look at this, the first time you take it out of the package, you're going to think like, oh no, this is going to break in a minute. No. I mean, this does fall into the realm of watch the instructional video the entire way through before you start playing with it. But once you know how it works, that's going to last a long time. And Intersection by Hondo, same thing. As long as you handle it the way it's supposed to be handled, these are not going to break. We've talked about it recently. I think 5 years ago, if we were talking about people that make gimmicks. Yeah.
that was more of an issue. But these days, you got these like trusted names like Shatlin, Nicholas Lawrence, Hondo, where you get it and like the gimmick that you're getting is like awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Let's move on to number 2. This one definitely great. You should do this in real life. You should do this on Instagram. You should do this all the time. This is Vortex by Dan Harlan. What happens here is you bring 2 cards. You can either have the cards selected from the deck, or you can do just a fun 2-card version that I know that Rick Lax and Jabrizi have done, and they teach on this. You have like a 5 of diamonds and a queen of clubs or some other face card, and you put them together, and then you start to move them in a circular fashion, and then visually the cards like hypno-swirl together, and the ink on these cards changes. And then the cool part is you can take them back apart, and in Dan's version, you can there's a really great cleanup to switch them out, and you can hand the cards out for examination. You're probably watching a clip of this right now, and the visuals are insane.
Yeah.
It's great. Like you feel like your mind is melting when you look at it.
And it's Harlan, so like the method on it is just, it's so easy to do. It is so easy to do. It's embarrassingly easy to do.
So it is a gimmick card that you're getting. You're actually getting a bunch of gimmick cards, which is really cool. There's a lifetime worth of vortexes in here.
Yeah.
But the artwork is so cleverly designed.
I know
that,
it.
like when you find out the secret that I'm alluding to right now, and you got to get it to find out that you can do it with multiple different face cards.
Yeah.
It's so pleasing.
Yeah.
The secret is so pleasing. I found myself, we were looking at this list last night, and I pulled this out, and I was doing it with both of the gimmicks that it works with, and I was just like, oh, it looks so good.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Now, this is one that I would actually move up, like
it
down.
Oh,
the
you would
list.
move it down.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like I'd move it. I might switch intersection for this.
Yeah,
Do
you know what?
I
If
mean?
I was going to reorder this,
Yeah.
I would put intersection where this is, but I would have intersection and matrix.
Yeah, maybe
Revolution,
Matrix would be 2.
I would have them like right side by side, and then the vortex maybe up to like 5 or 6.
Yeah, because I'm going to keep 1 as it is.
Yeah.
Only because, and while I think there might be, we'll talk about 1 in a second here,
Yeah.
but only because I think this was the most done trick.
Easily.
I just saw it everywhere.
You know, and the other change I would make is if we added either Torn or Reparation to the list, I would move that up above Sudden Deck. That's the other thing I would do. Sudden Deck is great, but I feel like it's not like a full routine, whereas the others are.
Sure.
All right, that brings us to number 1.
Number
Nick,
1.
I believe you've got number 1 over there on your
Number
side.
1, let's cut to the chase. Ooh. Number 1, undefeated in when did this come out? 2019, 2020?
People have been doing this one. People have been singing this one's praises for a long time.
Yeah.
And I see this one on videos all the time, and it looks like trick photography.
It really does. I fooled for a long time until I got it. Quantum by Kalen Morelli.
It's great. Now, actually, I don't know what episode is off the top of my head, but if you go to podcast.penguinmagic.com, you can search his name. It was a great podcast where we interviewed him in Las Vegas, and he talks a little bit about creating tricks like this. But tell us a little bit about what Quantum is.
You have a Sharpie and a card, and you can show the card front and back. Take the Sharpie, and you visually melt it halfway through the card. We're all kind of been there before, following along so far, right? But then the Sharpie moves forward on the card and moves back and across and every which direction. And then he removes the Sharpie back through the card, not in the same place where it started.
Which is wild.
And that's the routine. I saw a lot of people do this on Instagram, fooled me very much. And then when I found out the secret, I was like, wow, that's so smart.
Only Kalen could come up with something that genius.
It's really smart. Great trick. So if you're, what else can I say about this other than it's easy to do. The gimmicks that you get, you don't have to make anything. You can do it right after you watch the video. The video's about 10, 15 minutes long, and you'll have, arguably maybe your most viral, Instagram clip after filming it.
I will say, this is sort of the reigning champ of these effects.
I think so.
But I think Stargate gives Quantum a run for its money.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, what, we should have been talking about Stargate on
Stargate looks amazing on camera, and it's very similar in that you push a Sharpie through a card box and then you move the Sharpie around. But the cool thing about Stargate is that one tip of the Sharpie is on one side of the box and the other end of the Sharpie is in the other, and they move at the same time.
Because it's going through a wormhole, Eric.
It's so good. So it's a very similar effect, different method.
Yeah.
But it looks really cool, and I would put Quantum and Stargate together.
So like that's I mean, Quantum's had its run.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do we have to we have to start pushing people to Stargate?
I think Stargate is sort of like where a lot of the people who had like their own success on Instagram with Quantum, they want to have that success again. Like ring Stargate.
Yeah. 2022 and 23, we need to see Stargate out there.
Well, thanks so much for watching. We really like doing these videos, and we like this one where we get to hear what you all at home are enjoying and what you want to hear us talk about. So if you like this, please hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up so that more people can find great lists like this. And let us know in the comments down below if there's any tricks that we missed, or maybe you've got your own order that you think that maybe we weren't quite there on. And keep a lookout on our social medias for more of these polls so that we can find out other lists that you guys want.
Yeah, that's where it came from, our stories and stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Right?
So follow us on Facebook and Instagram to find out where more of these polls come out. On behalf of Nick Lacapo and everyone else, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.